Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here and welcome to episode 20 of my Everton series for Football Manager 2015. This is the end of season review, as you can tell by the title, and unfortunately we just missed out on the Champions League spots once again. We've come fifth again, clinched that first Europa League spot as per usual, and as you can see it was pretty close. Um, well, it was 5 points gap between myself and United. But going into the last game, we were on 65 points and United were on 68. So we were 3 points off. If they had lost and we had won, we actually had better goal difference, as you can see. So we would have finished above them, but the result didn't go our way. And we didn't win our game, sorry. And United did win. So therefore the 5 points makes that up as well. So a little bit disappointing, but as you can see by the teams below us, Liverpool, our arch rivals, and Tottenham. We beat them pretty convincingly. 8 points on Liverpool and a whole 10 points on Tottenham as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting as they round up the top 7. Um, we didn't manage any silverware this season either, which was really disappointing. We came very close in the Capital One Cup, as you saw in the previous episode, losing to a very strong Man United team who haven't performed that well in the league this season, we should say. Chelsea obviously won it. They are quite an amazing team. Got some real beast players. But anyway, let's get into the fixtures first of all. Coming from that Capital One Cup final loss, which is there. We followed that up with a 2-0 home victory against Bournemouth, who, despite their tycoon takeover, have actually been relegated this season. I found that a little bit interesting because they do have some, decent players. Yanga Mbiwa, Teofil Catherine, Neil Taylor, Lucas Biglia, that guy Kiyotake, he's pretty good. They have Sarko as well, and Yedlin, the American fullback. So yeah, Lukaku and Barkley were on the score sheet there for us. Good to pick up the clean sheet there, and yeah, all 3 points in the league, which is always nice. We then lost against Standard Liège, 3-2 away from home. Pretty disappointing because I would have liked to have gone a bit further in the Europa League. We did get the two away goals through Melham and Lukaku, but as you can see, we kind of dominated them to an extent, had more shots and more possession. But yeah, we just couldn't beat them, and we conceded 3 goals from 6 shots on target. So every other shot on target was a goal, so, always against the pump. And then at home we could only manage a 0-0 draw. Very disappointed with this result. As you can see by the stats, 5 shots, 1 on target for them, 20 shots, 8 on target for us, and we had more possession as well. Couldn't break through though, and Mick Diskerud, the American, who now plays for New York City, getting man of the match there for them. The next game was a 4-1 away victory against Aston Villa. Very impressive result, I must say. Morales got a hat-trick after getting injured in the previous game. Ron Vlaar did get sent off, and Leighton Baines also got a penalty for us. And yeah, Kevin Morales got a 9.6 match rating, which is quite good if I must say so. The next game was another 4-1 victory away from home again, this time coming out against Fulham. Lukaku hat-trick this time, and Morales also popped up with 1 goal in this game. And yeah, it was fairly even, apart from the possession. But my tactic is quite possession-based, short passing and retaining possession. So, yeah. The next game after that was a 1-0 away loss coming against Nottingham Forest, which was really disappointed with because, as you can see, we absolutely played them off the park. And Assam Balonga got a goal in the 8th minute, which gave them the victory. And yeah, good to see Rabiot picking up man of the match with an 8.1 there. I'm quite happy to see him, sort of come into his stride this season. He's, starting to get on it a little bit in his age. I can't really call him a youngster anymore. But as you can see by his stats, he's really improved. And, for the fee that I got him for, on a free transfer basically from PSG, he's really come into his own boots. He's filled him out quite nicely. After the Nottingham Forest game, we actually won a Merseyside derby. Yes, guys, that's right. 2-1 home victory over Liverpool, and yeah, could not be happier with this result. Isaiah Brown, the Chelsea loanee, opened the scoring for us. Matip got another one 5 minutes later. Sandro got sent off, and then Adam Layak got one back for Liverpool, but it was too little too late, and we finally won our first Merseyside derby. Well, I think it might be our second, but our first one in the league for this series, so hopefully we can definitely try and kick on from there and get some more big results against Liverpool. We, however, followed that up with a 1-0 home loss coming against Sunderland, who actually had a pretty good season. As you can see, Rabiot got sent off in the 84th minute, but we were already 1-0 down through Jordan Ayew, absolute beast of a player. And yeah, we never really looked like we were actually going to win, despite having 15 shots and 58% possession. As you can see, their centre-backs played, pretty outstandingly. I've never seen that guy before. He looks half decent. So yeah, disappointing 1-0 loss, especially at home, after, on the back of that amazing result against Liverpool. We did bounce back, however, a 2-0 home victory over Queen's Park Rangers. McGeady and Lukaku. Morales got a long-term injury. He was out for the rest of the season. So I played McGeady. He wanted first-team football. So it was kind of a fitting moment, I suppose. The next game up was against Manchester United. Could only manage a 3-3 draw at home. Pretty decent result. Really would have piled the pressure on if he could have gotten all 3 points here. Barkley, Baines and Delofu on the score sheet for us there. Ward-Prowse, Keita and Thiago for United. And once again, Konya absolutely playing like a beast against us there. He actually got man of the match. We then beat Tottenham 3-2 away from home at White Hart Lane. I think it's still... No. It was at Wembley. Oh my god, that's really weird. They must have moved to Wembley Stadium. Okay. Zaha and Chiriches on the score sheet for Tottenham. Delofu, Lukaku and Ross Barkley on the score sheet for us there. And Barkley just edged out McGeady for man of the match for us there as well. It's interesting that they're actually playing at the national team stadium in Wembley. And of course the final game, which was against Stoke, was a 0-0 drum match away at the Britannia. And as you can see, it was kind of even to an extent. We had a bit more on target, a bit more chances. Matip, played really well for us, as did most of the defence, so that was good. Their defence played pretty well as well, which is kind of why it was a 0-0 match. And yeah, that pretty much is the end of that. Go into a bit more detail in the league table. As you can see, I don't think the FA Cup has been played yet, which is why the last Europa League spot hasn't been given away yet. I'm not actually sure who's in that. We might try and have a look at that if I can. Just type it in here. No? Doesn't come up? Yes, it does. Where is it? Competitions. Am I blind? Yes, I am. So we've got Queen's Park Rangers versus Me United. So, do Queen's Park Rangers get it? I'm not sure. I don't think they do. Unless they win it, of course. But I don't really see them beating United. So it looks like United will probably do the double there. Capital One and the FA Cup. That's quite interesting. If we go into the inbox, the World Cup is this year as it is the 2018 season. So it will be held in Russia, I think. Yeah, Russia. And these are the 9 players from my team that are actually in the prelim squad. We've got Yang Yong-hyuk, who's only 18 years old, and he's already been put into the South Korean prelim squad, which I think is really good. He had an injury this season, which kind of hampered his development a little bit, but he did, kick on probably from about the start of the season to about January, and then he got an injury, which was from then on kind of hampered it, but he's just been coming back recently, and he's, starting to get the green arrows again, which I like to see. We got Oviedo, who picked up an injury pretty much for the whole season, which was disappointing. We got Leighton Baines, John Stones, Ross Barkley, and Jack Mellum. So the 19-year-old makes the prelim squad. Very happy with that. He's got 11 caps, so he's quite well versed, and it's good to see Ross Barkley making the squad as well. Had a very good season this year. And then we got the Republic of Ireland as well. We got McCarthy, Coleman, and McGeady. So interesting to see them in there as well. A couple of old boys actually in Coleman and McGeady, and you got McCarthy, who's 27, played quite well this season as well. Towards the second half of the season. We'll go into average ratings now, and I need it the other way. As per usual, Romelu Lukaku, 7.35, 48 games, 42 goals. Absolute machine. I don't think I can ever sell him though. I think if I sold him, we would probably, not be the team that we are right now. Leighton Baines, interestingly enough, the captain, comes in second place with a 7.31. 35 games played, had a really slow start to the season. I was actually playing Oviedo right at the start for most games, and then Oviedo got injured. Baines got his place back and started playing really well again. Interesting to see Liam Walsh here. Only gave him a couple of games, 5 games all up, 3 starts. Got the 1 goal, 7.26, which is interesting. Then we've got Delofu, 42 games, 10 goals, 7.21. Morales right behind him there. Delofu actually played on the left wing despite being a right winger because we have Morales. Then under him we got Joel Matip, one of my favourite players on Football Manager. 40 games started, 4 goals, which is a little bit lower than he usually gets, I believe. 7.19 is quite good. And then we got Oviedo, as I mentioned, played 16 games, or started 16, and got a 7.17, and that was pretty much why he had Baines' spot. He was playing really well at the time. Interestingly enough, Jeggy Elka actually played 33 games, or started 33 games this season. I don't actually remember playing him that much, but I guess so. For some reason, he's been left out of the England squad. Apparently, he's not had enough appearances for us, which, 33 starts, that's quite a lot. 7.14, then it drops off a little bit. We got McCarthy on a 7.07, Stones is also on a 7.07, and then we got the 2 backup strikers, Yong Hyuk and Isaiah Brown, and they're both on 7.06. Isaiah Brown didn't start any games for the whole season, 10 sub appearances for only 2 goals, which is quite low, but, I didn't really expect him too much from him. And then we got Yong Hyuk, who started 9 and had 7 sub appearances, and he got 5 goals, which is pretty good considering a lot of his games did come off the bench. His form towards the end of the season was quite poor as well, which is his last 5 games is a 6.6. We got Barkley, who interestingly enough is only a 7.03, but he played really well this season. Started 47 games, got 8 goals. I want to jump in here and see if we can have a look at his assists, if we can. In the league, he's got 7 goals and 8 assists, which I think is really good. The average rating is a bit lower than, his overall rating, but it's up a lot from last season, up nearly, 0.25, percent, I guess. If it's a percent, I'm not too sure. Then further down, we got some other players like Coleman, who played quite well, started right back towards the end of the season. Pacheco played a few games, mainly in the Europa League. Campbell picked up a 5-month injury, which he's still out for another 2 months, which is disappointing. And that's, kind of the reasoning behind why he's just so low, I guess. He was kind of in poor form, which is why I started playing Delofu instead of him. So that's a little bit interesting. Tim Howard's down there. Rabio's down there despite, having a few really good games toward the end of the season as well. Noel Golov didn't really play too much. Got 18 sub appearances and 8 starts. He actually scored 7 goals, which is, quite a few. He scored the same amount of goals as Barkley, pretty much. I want to actually have a look at his assists, and we'll see how he did as far as assists goes. So in the league, he only he played 16 games. I assume most were sub appearances. Yeah, 1 league start, 15 subs. Only scored 2 goals and got 1 assist in the league. So not too good there, but they are sub appearances, so you can't really read into them too much. Millam's first season at the club didn't do too badly, despite being at the bottom spectrum of the whole squad. Sorry. 25 starts, 7 sub appearances. Got a couple of goals over all competitions and got a 6.8. But he's not really the type of player that he needs to be, if that makes sense. As you can see, he is a defensive midfielder, ball-winning midfielder. But I do play him as a deep line playmaker on defend. But, his vision is only 9, so he's not exactly a playmaker that's going to be playing balls, across the park. So I'm not too sure how we're going to go about that. I am training him as a deep line playmaker to hopefully get his vision up a little bit. Um, yeah, you can't actually train vision, which is a little bit disappointing. So I'm going to have to leave it on that. Is there anything else I want to go over? We do have a couple of transfers coming in. I've mentioned them, quite a while ago, I guess. We've got Maxwell here, the Brazilian goalkeeper, who isn't coming in until January of next season, so that one's not going to be in there for a while. We've got Christian Ramirez. I think he's in the same. No, he's coming soon. He's coming in the summer. So, 20-year-old El Salvadorian striker. So he'll come in, pretty much replace Brown as our, second backup striker. So that's kind of good. We are going to be replacing Tim Howard. He did play his testimonial friendly game at the start of this season. I think he is still under contract, but we have signed Geronimo Rulli, the Argentinian goalkeeper from Sociedad. He is joining us on a massive contract. You can't see it there, but he's joining on about 80k a week, which is massive. And yeah, I'm a little worried about spending that much money, but he's only 26 years old. And if you see his stats, I had him scouted before. His stats are quite amazing, so I think he'll hopefully be the decisive factor as far as us pushing on into the Champions League. So yeah, that's really good. I'm going to try and sell Brendan Galloway. We do have an offer from Tottenham at the moment. I'm not too sure if I'm going to accept that yet. It is a possibility. I think he is actually a homegrown player, so we'll have a look at that now very quickly. I know this episode's going for ages. Well, he's not really a homegrown player, is he? He's homegrown in the sense that he's English and he's, been in England his whole career so far. So I'm not too sure. We might sell him. Tottenham want him for about 4.6 mil. Not all up front, which is, disappointing, but oh well. So yeah, that's basically it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, as always. And yeah, don't forget to tune in to my Ajax series as well, which is the next episode. It's a disappointing episode, I have to say, without giving too much away. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, we got some positive things for the future, guys. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.